Let us look at a slightly more complex task in writing. Why is it complex? Because it deals with a complex issue and there are many dimensions to that, many aspects of that topic. So, we will have to read it very carefully. What is the core or the central focus of this task? So we find that most developed countries spend a large proportion of their health budgets on expensive medical technology and procedures. Now, this is a statement. Let's make sure that we understand this statement. What they mean to say is, and this is a way of paraphrasing, you can paraphrase in the first paragraph of your essay the same statement. What you can say is that it is a trend in many countries, particularly developed countries, to spend a lot of money or to put a lot of expenditure on health, and that is on expensive treatment and medical technology. So, this is the statement, that is the situation as it is in many countries. The second statement is this money should be spent instead on health education to keep people well. What does this mean? The second statement contradicts the first statement. Okay? The second statement says no. What the developed countries are doing, that is, that they are spending more on technology and procedures, they should not be doing that. Rather, they should be spending more money on health education so that people remain well and they don't have to go to hospitals. So, then the third part of it is your task. That is, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this opinion? Which means that now you have to express your agreement or disagreement. Now, in order to do so, in order to express agreement or disagreement, you must look at both aspects of the problem. Sometimes, may I suggest to you that it is better that you can look at the vocabulary that you need for a task like this, because it is a little more technical, this kind of topic. So, it's to do with medicine. So, that is the general area that is being talked about, medicine. Okay? So, you could say the practice of medicine, how we should practice medicine in a society, which is the better way. So, we have two ideas given, they are contradictory to each other. Now, let us see how we can approach it. Sometimes we can approach it by using certain kinds of vocabulary. For example, I've put over here two words, preventive and curative. Now, these are adjectives. By preventive, we mean preventive medicine or preventive care, right? Which means that you're preventing a disease. So, we use the word disease. This word disease has not been used in the topic statement, right? So, whenever you use new words which are not used in the topic statement, if they are the right words, you get credit for them. So, you can look at this topic in terms of two aspects. The first part deals with curing a disease which is already there, for which you need treatment. And the second part is preventive, that is, prevent the disease from coming. So, these two words are very important, preventive and curative methods in medicine. So, if you use this kind of vocabulary, you can get a handle on the topic. You see, vocabulary sometimes gives us a way of dealing with the topic. If we put down a list of words which we feel are important for this topic, then from those words we can construct some sentences and we can construct an opinion or a point of view. So, in this topic, we can first focus on curative aspects, then we can focus on preventive aspects. Which are the curative aspects? For instance, having the doctors, having health workers, having the staff to cure the disease in hospitals. So that is the curative aspect. Treatment and the doctors, surgeons, all this vocabulary you will need in order to discuss this aspect. Then you can move to the preventive aspect. In the preventive aspect, you would look at diet, hygiene, care. These are the sorts of points that you will take up. If you choose these words, then you will get some good points for dealing with this aspect, which is health education to keep people well. So you will have some points for this and you will have some points for this. When you use the right words, for example, here I've given an example, dietary habits. Dietary is an adjective, habits is a noun. So from diet, we have dietary, we have dietitian, the person who looks after the diet. So from one word you can make many words, diet, dietary, dietary habits, dietitian. All those are important for discussing this second topic, second part of the topic. And then for curative, we will have to use words like treatment, nursing, disease, etc. Diagnosis of the disease. So this deals with the prevention of the disease and this deals with the cure of the disease. Which is more important? You know, we have a saying, prevention is better than cure. So you can give that in your opinion. If that is your opinion, you can use that proverb and you can say prevention is better than cure. It is better to prevent the disease than to spend a lot of money in curing it or trying to cure it. So what I'm suggesting here is that you make a list of words which are to do with each of these points and then use those words to build up first one point, then the other point. In that sense, you will be able to use the words appropriate to the topic. And these are the different words related to each part. From expense, we have expenditure, expensive. So we can make nouns and adjectives out of a basic word. If we have a word like expense, then from expense we have expensive and then expenditure. Expensive is an adjective. We talk about expensive medical care. Expensive. So this is adjective. When we say expenditure, this is a noun. So this we can use on its own. This we can't use on its own. It has to come before a noun. As I've given the example here, adjective comes before a noun. So that is what we can do in order to discuss this topic. And then we can see whether we agree or disagree. As I mentioned, we can use a proverb or some other proof to show that we are in favor of this particular part. You can say that it is my opinion that prevention is better than cure. So that can be a good last sentence for this topic. But you have to give reasons. Why? So, for example, money is a very big reason. This is obviously more expensive than this. Health education may not be so expensive as treating the diseases. So that may be more expensive. So one aspect is the money factor. Another aspect can be the need for health care. More health care is needed here. Here we need some people, health workers, dietitians, who will tell people what is the way to good health right from the beginning so that they are not susceptible to disease. So another point can be that saving of the work hours. So if a person gets ill, even if they spend a lot of money in the medical treatment, still the time will be lost. The work will be lost. Person will not be able to work for a long time. Whereas if health education is there, then people can work and they can be more productive to the society. So that is one reason why the second point can be supported. So there can be a lot of points given. The conclusion of this is that you have to think very carefully about a topic like this. You cannot take it lightly. You have to see what are the arguments for this part, what are the arguments for this part, and then you can express whether you agree or disagree. Finally, to what extent is important. To what extent? What does this mean? It means either you completely agree with something, or you completely disagree with something, or you completely or partially disagree and partially agree. So there can be any kind of level of agreement or disagreement. That means that this topic is quite open. You can express your own opinion. You can show whether you agree somewhat with the first part. For example, you can say that I agree that good medical facilities are needed for the treatment of disease in every country. And remember, you have to give examples. You can give examples of the medical and the health services in your own country. You can give examples of the medical and health services in other countries. And those examples can help you to support your argument, whether you agree or disagree with either of the opinions.